Saints Row 4. We're doing the collectibles, the audio logs, AA Gamer for Life. Okay, so we're chipping away at these audio logs, and I mentioned in the previous videos that these audio files won't become available until after you get these certain crew members in. The King of Stillwater, basically, your chief of staff there, Benjamin King. After you do that mission, his files become available, then Tanya's as well.
I built, I watched, and then I acted. That's how I brought the Vice Kings up to be one of the strongest crews in Stillwater. Only problem was my lieutenants didn't have the same patience. That bitch Tanya drove a wedge between Tony and Warren. Then she convinced Warren to try and take me out, only to stab him in the back and take it all for herself. I may have lost the Vice Kings, but killing her almost made it worth the trouble. Good thing the player was there to help. After the fall of the Vice Kings, I figured it was time to get out of the game. Living the life I had, I didn't want all that experience to go to waste. Figured a book would allow me to work out my demons and show the world what the game took from me. Didn't know it'd take off so well. Shit, if I had known back then what I do now, probably would have gone legit sooner. I always knew the Saints were ambitious, but I never thought I'd see them end up in the White House. And when the player called me saying how they couldn't do it without me, how could I say no? Thought maybe I was in line for vice president, but I guess Keith beat me to it. Still, being the president chief of staff certainly had its perks. Not bad for a kid from Sunnyvale Gardens.
Putting me in charge of the brothels was the best idea
Okay,
King
that's
ever
our
had.
first Tanya.
There's
Get
no
to the
way
next
anyone
two
else
now.
in Stillwater would have been able to control the girls the way I did. It brought in the money, it brought in the clients, and it would have been the backbone of the Vice Kings if Gat and all the Saints hadn't ruined it all. King never had the control he thought he did over the Vice Kings. It was all me and Warren keeping things running. Well, mostly me. Warren's ego got just as big as Benjamin's in the end. He thought the two of us would rule the city. Guess he didn't know me like he thought he did.
Definitely wonder how they come up with these locations for these audio
Warren,
files.
Tony, Alderman Hughes. I had them all wrapped around my finger.
Wonder if they got like
They
a
would have
map
died
up
for
on the
me.
wall and they just throw
Come to
darts
think
at
of
it or something.
I guess they did.
Okay, so that takes care of Benjamin King and Tanya. Okay, now we got the 3 for Pierce.
boss was a lot more hardcore back in the day. He managed to pull the Saints back from the grave. Didn't take any shit from anyone, especially the Brotherhood, the Ronin, or the Sons of Solomon. Hell, anyone that got in the way lost everything they had. Not just their life. Still, it's too bad what happened to Carlos, though. He was a good kid. Shonda and I had a relationship. I came up with all the ideas. She got all the credit. Never seemed fair. Guess it worked out in the end, though. With me being an international celebrity and all.
Over at the Broken Shillelagh,
Okay,
and God knows
maybe
we
it
spent
all
some
worked out
time
the way
over
I
at this
planned.
place.
You know, Shonda got a TV show, and every guy in the world wanted her. I was doing commercials and barely getting my music off the ground. But still, now I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff of the President of the United States, so that's gotta count for something. Though, I don't think the approval ratings are gonna much matter anymore.
Okay, now we got the 3 for Johnny all up the airport, and like all the other files, after Johnny becomes a crew member is when you'll get them.
I gotta admit, I didn't think much of the boss when they first joined the crew. I thought there was no way they were gonna make it through being canonized, let alone be any help taking over Stillwater. Hell, they didn't even talk back then. But after that shit with the Vice Kings, I knew we found ourselves one hell of a saint. There's nothing the boss can't do. Things ain't ever been easy for the Saints. First, we lost Lynn to the Rollers back in Stillwater. And then Julius tried blowing up the boss and the Saints fell apart. And after getting the crew back together, the Brotherhood had Carlos killed and... Aisha. Well, I lost her to the Ronin. And then fucking Philippe Loren tried
Okay,
taking
right
me
out
out,
here on the
only to have
broken
Xeniac come in and
airplane,
snatch me
and
from
the
the Saints
water is
anyway.
our next and last text
Said,
or audio log for
"Shit's
Johnny.
always been rough." Aisha's death, it hit me really hard. I thought I'd made peace with it, but Xeniac's fucking simulated hell took its toll. You know, I know the whole point was
All
I'd
right.
never be able to save her, but that shit
Double
would
A
never
Gamer Flat,
stop me
Demented
from
Priest.
trying. The boss didn't show up to help.
We'll see you on the next set
I don't know
of
how
audio
much longer
logs.
we can keep it together.
If you like the videos, you can always support us by checking out the ads.